Tonight, we're getting a better understanding of what it means to cut funding from public broadcasting. So WRAL, as you probably know, is a privately run station, but a certain anchor who worked here for decades is now working in the public space. Now, by now, you've also seen the headlines. Corporation for Public Broadcasting says it will shut down after Congress cut money. That bill cut $9 billion in total funding, including $1 billion for the CPB. Now, we should say the CPB doesn't actually create anything. They're the arm that provides the federal funding to things like PBS and NPR. And those organizations have stations all over the country. About 1% of NPR's funding came from the feds. It's much bigger, though, for PBS, about 15%. That money funds the national programming, things like Frontline, PBS NewsHour, Antique Roadshow, Arthur, and the Wildcrats. My kids love the Wildcrats. That money also funds local programming like NC Weekend, North Carolina Now, and the Black Issues Forum. There are some legitimate criticisms for these funding cuts. Many of these programs are educational or they're for kids, and there are no commercials. There are also some legitimate criticisms for public media, like salaries and its place in today's enormous media landscape. We took those ideas to David Crabtree, the former WRAL anchor, now CEO of PBS North Carolina, as he spoke to our Ashley Rowe.
David, I appreciate you spending time with us here. I know it's been a very busy couple of days for you.
It has been, but it's always good to, it's just good to be in the presence of the place that was my home for almost 30 years.
Absolutely. Hey, what has the response been from employees since the news went out about the voluntary separation offers? Obviously, the more people that do that, the fewer layoffs down the line.
The response so far has been pretty quiet. I know folks are talking a lot amongst themselves. That's what I want them to do. Every decision that is made with each individual employee is up to them, and I want to make sure that they make the best choice for themselves and their families.
I know you know that one of the things that the critics of public media will bring up is salaries, that people who work in public broadcasting make more money than those in the private sector. These salaries are public record. In some cases, those salaries are higher than what we see in the private market. Do you think that that's a fair point from critics, or do you think that salaries at public institutions like PBS have responded to market forces?
I would like to see that list, quite frankly. Wow. My colleagues, for the most part, and my peers throughout the PBS ecosystem are paid, in many cases, substantially less than what that peer group would be making in commercial media. I know at PBS North Carolina, we do our best to be up to market and to compete, but it's really difficult in public media. Again, I'm not denying that information exists, but I would really like to talk with those critics and say, come in, take a look at our books. Every salary we have is open to the public.
This doesn't just impact employees. This also will impact PBS programming. Can you give us a sense of what this means for PBS programming?
Thanks for asking that, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about that now. It will present a serious challenge to programming, but we remain steadfast in the mission of producing so many quality shows at PBS North Carolina. When people say, well, your programming is going to be impacted, that is true, but the context is not by a very large margin.
What is it that public broadcasting does, and the public content that you were just talking about, that private media can't do?
In commercial, you have to play to your audience, believe me. I spent 40 years doing that. I understand that. So with emergency work and informing the public, that's one, I like to call it one engine of a twin engine plane. And the second is education. When we create educational programming for children and offer it every day without commercial interruption, that is something that could be done on the commercial side, but it wouldn't fit your business model. So I understand why it's not done, but we stand in the gap that no one else really wants to stand in. Is it a large audience? No, it is a niche audience, but it is a dedicated audience, particularly around children's programming, and that is at the heart of what we do.
Thank you so much.
Ashley, thank you, and my best to everyone there. And we really appreciate the time for this to be explained. So thank you.
Absolutely.